Welcome to Deucecast Extra, live on YouTube and X. I keep forgetting to mention that. We are live on X as well. Elon promises extensive amounts of revenue if you go live on X. I haven't seen any of it yet, but that's what apparently
I
Elon
think you
promises.
might need Twitter Blue to do some of that.
Probably.
And then engagement bait your way to that.
You mean X Blue? Or whatever they call it. I don't even know what it's called.
What are they calling it now?
It's not. It's not Twitter Blue anymore.
I still get billed from Twitter.
Billed?
I'll get billed from X. I unfortunately still pay for Blue. I had an interview because I have the check mark because I needed to post an interview like before football season started.
Oh,
so you just pay for it? I thought it was like earned.
No, it's like $8 a month.
Oh, okay.
And it's so small that I'm like, I should cancel that, but I don't never remember to.
Well, you know, it is what it is. I mean, I've never considered paying for it. I don't have enough followers to bother. We picked up, like, when we were doing CTI back in the day, we had a lot of people, like, all of a sudden randomly follow each of us. So I've got, like, more followers than I probably really should. But, I mean, it just because of CTI. It's definitely not because of the Deucecast. It was all because of CTI. But
we're not the Deucecast Twitter. We're the Extra.
Yeah, it's the
Deucecast Extra. X-Men.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, exactly like Earl's alluding, we are of course here to discuss the 9th episode of. That's right, Paul Jacob. He's going method. He went method for Professor X.
Mm-hmm.
We're here, of course, to talk about the 9th episode of X-Men 97. But first, we have to go around the horn here and talk about how we extra'd this week. Garrison, what are you going to throw at us this week for your extra?
First, I always feel like I do an aside. I want to kind of shout out something cool that happened before I get into officially what my extra will be.
Your official item? Okay.
Yeah. I like taking up more of your time.
No, you're good.
That is when I was at the theater. I went to the Island Cinemas for this past weekend for the movie I went to see. I went to see Challengers, but that's not my extra. I really don't want to talk about that film right now. While I was there, they had a showing of the 85th anniversary of Wizard of Oz playing at the theater.
Oh, wow.
It was a flashback cinema this week at the theater. And they had a lady in the theater who had been there for the first showing of that film, wherever she lived. I'm sure, I don't know that they released it on the same day exactly back when, but she was at the first showing of it in the 30s or whatever when it came out, or was it
39?
40s? 39. It came out the same year as Gone with the Wind, which is kind of
39,
didn't it? Or maybe it was directed by the same guy who did Gone with the Wind.
Close. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it was 39, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
But anyway, the lady was there who had seen it 85.
39.
Gone with the Wind was 39 as well.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And directed by the same person.
Yeah, it was. That's a crazy run that nobody talks about. Wow. That's a one-two punch right there.
Great color movies.
There's some stories about Gone with the Wind, though. It started with one director and ended with another. I mean, but anyways.
All I'm saying is,
that's a good run.
That's pretty great.
It is a good run. You're right.
I'd have to get into the actual history of that to know exactly what happened there. But
yeah.
But there was a lady there at the theater who had seen it 85 years ago, and she was still here today going to see it again.
So was she in her 90s, I'm guessing?
I'm assuming. I did not meet her. She was already in the theater, but they were talking about her in the lobby.
Wow.
While I was getting my ticket to go see Challengers.
That's amazing.
So, yeah.
She'd have to be, because that's 85 years
ago.
Right?
That's true. Yeah. She'd have to be. My only Wizard of Oz adjacent story is I was on a Route 66 trip, and if you're on a Route 66 trip, you generally stop through Metropolis, Illinois, which is like Superman.
Oh, yeah, that's the Superman.
It's like they've got a Superman statue and everything.
Yellow
and there's always some random celebrity there doing autographs. It doesn't even have to be like a Superman adjacent person. It's just like there's enough like little shops that are there that people will just have a booth set up to get money for autographs. So one of the Lollipop Guild people, tiny little people,
TLP.
were there. TLP was there at the table, charging like $50 for an autograph. And
the lollipop cube.
yeah. That's the only.
Did he have his suspenders on?
He wasn't. He wasn't in full costume, but he was like, no, he didn't have any. Yeah, he looked like Jake.
Welcome, yo.
That's my only Wizard of Oz adjacent story that I ever. That was, yeah. It was just weird because, and I asked like the shop owner, I was like, so just random people will come and set, and he was like, yeah, from any old TV show, old movies, like. Sure, like there's weekends where we do have Superman themed people stop by and do autographs, like the third gaffer on Superman the movie or so, like random stuff like that. But he also said just all during the year, throughout the whole year, just randos show up and set up tables and
I have been to the Oz Museum in Wamego, Kansas.
Okay, there's your
Wamego. Yeah.
No, this
it
is
was
not his extra.
Not great.
It was not great.
No, my mother wanted to stop. I think we were like driving to Branson, maybe. She's like, "Oh, can we stop?" And we're like, "No." And
were they like, "This is where Dorothy lived"? Were they like,
it was just like a big, like it was just like in downtown Wamego. And yeah, it was not great.
That's awesome. So, what is your actual extra, Garrison?
Yeah,
we didn't get to it yet. We didn't get to it.
We were just going to extra Wizard of Oz.
98% of the way through
98.
this book.
He's had the same extra 3 days or 3 weeks in a row.
98%.
This book, or even this book, the leatherbound edition, split into 2 parts.
Oh, so now you're starting to collect Sanderson random editions.
I love it, man.
All right.
Of a book you haven't finished reading yet.
Yeah, and it's great.
I feel you.
Unless the 20 pages just suck, that'd be awful.
Look, I've got like 5 different copies of Deadpool, so I understand. I feel you buying the different copies of things. I totally get it. Dr. Earl or Dr. Magneto, is he a doctor? I don't know.
He has an honorary degree.
Honorary. It's like
only a Doctor of Evil.
Yeah. Who's giving him an honorary degree?
Yeah, exactly. What's your extra going to be, Dr. Earl?
What a wonderful day!
Yeah.
Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
Mm-hmm.
Man, my new hero is Proximus. Man, he was able to cast vision.
I haven't seen it yet. No spoilers here.
No spoilers,
man. But he's just so.
Do you mean
Kevin Durant as the voice?
Proximus Caesar, Dr. Earl?
Proximus Caesar. Yes, that's true.
Hey,
let's not spoil it for Professor X.
No.
No, I enjoyed that. I thought it was good.
Yeah, it was real good.
I never go into those movies with like any high expectations, but I always come away like entertained. At least
really, like even after the quality of that original or of the Matt Reeves trilogy, you don't go in. Those are good movies.
No, they're good. They're good. I'm just saying I don't ever go in thinking, oh, I'm so excited to see what the next chapter is, or because it jumps and gaps. But I'm always pleased and I enjoy it. And so
I was excited for War personally after Rise.
Yeah.
But this one I was kind of like, we'll see.
Well, I mean, Wes Ball, like he doesn't like instill much like when I think of Wes Ball, I'm like, oh, I'm so excited about seeing a Wes Ball movie, but it was actually good. It was good.
It wasn't Dewey Bowl or whatever.
Well, yeah.
I think the guy who played Noah, Owen Teague, I think is his name, did a good job. And apparently, have you heard this, Garrison, that when they release the Blu-ray or the 4K, it's going to have the whole movie, but with the mocap actors?
No way.
No, I'm serious.
I don't like that. I won't.
No, it'll be good.
I'm kind of fascinated from a filmmaking perspective.
Yeah. I don't know about that.
I mean, obviously they won't have they can't act.
Sometimes I don't like to see how the sausage is made.
Okay, but you don't have to.
Listen, you don't have to do that, man.
That's not the only option on the disc.
Okay, that's not the only option. Okay, good.
We're only releasing it without any.
I
want to see Kevin Durant walking around yelling.
Now that might be cool. Actually, Kevin Durant's awesome. He's having a good year. I'm for Kevin Durant having like a resurgence. Durant-descence.
Yeah.
Anyways, Professor X.
Professor.
We've got Jacob cosplaying as Professor X this evening.
Yes. My extra this week is I shaved my head because I was so excited Professor X was back on Earth with the X-Men.
Yes.
No. I do have hair still.
You're clinging. You're clinging on to the hair.
Yeah, it's
good. It's good.
I have a really big forehead. It's a 2. We shaved it with a 2.
A 5 head. A 5 head.
Look, let's not talk about a guy. Look, this.
What?
That's a 5 head.
That's a 5 head. Yeah,
that's a 5 head.
I can feel
he's
you, man.
saying it himself. I'm not like making fun of him. I'm just like
when I was like, I'm going to show off the new haircut, and I like sat down and I was like, holy expletive, Batman.
Holy Professor X.
It's way back here.
I look bald. Yeah, no, I do have hair. It's just short.
It's covered.
And
it's covered.
Yeah. No, my real extra is I have once again won Star Wars trivia at Black Brewery.
Yeah.
We kind of wiped the competition like it wasn't particularly close. 3 questions that we were very upset about. What did Jar Jar owe Qui-Gon in The Phantom Menace?
Ooh. Yeah. So, I mean, it was easily life debt. I mean, I heard that it's 2 weeks ago, but the answer they accepted, I've looked up, and I can't even find that.
They were only accepting honor debt.
Do they call it life debt in the film, though?
Yeah.
I could find honor debt as like a debt of honor from Star Trek. That's a thing in
because
I thought he said life debt.
Qui-Gon says Jar Jar owes us what you call a life debt.
A life debt.
What you call a life, but I thought Jar Jar said something in the forest before they go under the water.
He doesn't say like a term, does he?
I thought he did.
He says some term, and it may be honor debt, but because Qui-Gon says life debt, that should also be an acceptable.
Yeah, no, you're right. In trivia, you would accept both answers because
we're going to talk to those
the biggest BS.
Andrew, I need you to be looking this up for us. Like, what did Jar Jar call it versus what did Qui-Gon?
We can't understand what he's saying half the time. He's like, "Oh, I need my honor debt."
yeah, exactly. It might have been like that.
The biggest problem question was, where was Anakin born according to legends?
Ooh.
Where was he born? I mean,
this was such BS.
Was he
to
born?
Legend?
Was not he born? Tatooine.
It's unknown, but specifically not Tatooine is the answer they were looking for.
The unknown regions.
No, unknown.
Oh, just unknown.
The
they
answer
didn't want
is
you to say
unknown.
Tatooine.
Their trivia question answer is the answer is unknown.
It shouldn't be. You shouldn't have legends questions in a bar trivia.
No, you
should.
That's
where you were, right?
How was Chewbacca killed in in New Jedi Order?
Yeah, a
dropped
moon
a moon
fell
on his head.
Yeah, exactly.
And then we got where the Han and Leia were leaving when they were going to Bespin. What system they were leaving? I got that wrong. That's a fair question. It was a Noat. I said Hoth.
Well, yeah.
It said the Hoth system.
Wait, in the movie Solo or
Empire?
Wait. Oh, Lando.
When they're headed to Bespin, what system are they
going
leaving?
to the Lando system? Is this the Lando? No, Lando's. Okay, anyways,
he's a person.
It was the easiest final question, though. The final question is like you get to wager however many points you have, and you can like wager up to or all of your points. And it was, what was Luke Skywalker's original last name in the first draft of Star Wars?
Oh, easy.
Yeah, I was like, that's what you're doing?
I've got it up here.
You're all 40 points.
Figures up here. Star Killer, obviously. Yep. All right, so my extra, I'm going to keep it on the X-Men tip. I've been rewatching all the films, and Logan. That movie is near perfect. I didn't give it 5 stars. I gave it 4.5. I'm afraid to give it 5 stars. I don't know why.
Well, there may be something better out there. Did you watch the black and white or the colored?
I should have watched Logan Noir. I should have watched that. I've got it. I should have watched it in that way, but I'm just going back through and watching. Although I did watch Rogue Cut, so I've already broken my rule of watching whatever the theatrical was. And I like the Rogue Cut better, actually. I like more Rogue.
I could have gone a different direction with my extras, but I gotta save them.
Yeah, Logan. Good grief, that movie. I got very emotional in that final scene. Again, like every time I watch that movie, where he's on his deathbed basically, and he's got a big log through his chest. It's just very. And that Daphne Keene or whatever her name is, she's so good. Like as a kid actress. That's just a great
Before the drugs. No, I'm just kidding.
So now I've got 3 left. I've got Deadpool 2, which I hope to watch this evening at some point.
That's a fun movie.
It's not as good as the first one, but it is fun.
I prefer the theatrical cut of that one versus the
I'll
super
probably
duper cut.
I might watch the super duper cut. I don't know what I'm going to watch. And then of course I've got the 2 crap fests of Dark Phoenix and New Mutants. And then I'll be done. And then I've got 2 other. I'm going to try and watch all of the Mad Max movies before next Thursday.
All the way back to the original.
There's only 4. Yeah, all the way back. Yeah, there's only 4. And then I'm going to do all the Alien movies. This is my rewatch year. I'm rewatching every.
I like it. I like it, dude. I like it.
So the Aliens, and I might do both the AVP movies within that rewatch. Requiem and
Alien versus Predator.
Yeah, Alien versus Requiem. But anyways,
you just reminded me that my extra actually was going to be the Wolverine. I forgot about that.
But, yeah.
But I'm not going to go
Wolverine
into
is
too
good.
much. But it did strike me that Mangold, he can't do a Wolverine film without him being really depowered in some way.
Yeah.
Which I thought was interesting. I mean, I'm not saying that as a total criticism. He's trying to make him relatable to the audience.
I actually liked that movie a lot when it came out.
But
it's not bad.
I just thought that it just kind of struck me when I was watching, and I was like, oh, he can't heal here, and then he gets too old in the other one, and he isn't able to heal as well. I mean, it's kind of interesting.
It's just jarring when you watch.
You gotta give a little.
You watch X-Men Apocalypse, and they've got this one guy playing Caliban, and then you've got Stephen Merchant playing Caliban in Logan, and it's sort of just they're very different characterizations of that character. There's no continuity there whatsoever. But Stephen Merchant's great as Caliban. He was really good in that.
Apocalypse is such a mess because Bryan Singer went off the rails during it.
Well, we don't need to get into all that. But let's dive into episode 9.
Yes,
the second part of the 3-part finale, I guess, is really the way you could. So this was just all action packed. Basically, there was some like exposition at the beginning of the episode. There
was some
Professor X was waking up and whatnot.
There's some good dialogue in the middle of the episode. In fact, there's a shot at Bryan Singer's first film.
Yes.
The direct parallel line.
Not the leather. Yeah.
What'd you expect? Black leather?
Black leather.
Black leather, yeah.
What'd you expect? Yellow spandex?
Yep. It's a good parallel there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So Garrison, just overall, before we dive into all like the details of the episode, I mean,
like he's already done.
Thoughts coming out of the episode?
I really enjoyed it. I mean, this series has been really awesome. It kind of makes me sad that just the MCU shows coming up that we've got this year, I'm just not as excited about. I'm gonna give them a fair shot. I'm gonna watch them. I don't go into those things wanting to not like them. It's just I don't care about Agatha, and I know about the characters they're introducing in that show, and I don't care about those characters. They're just largely B characters, or even some of them are original characters. And
Mephisto, no,
I like Aubrey Plaza. Mephisto's Ironheart, but
right.
Actually,
it is.
Yeah.
I love Aubrey Plaza. I love that she's going to be in Megalopolis whenever that's going to be distributed. And
that's going to be
there's a lot of people in that movie.
She plays WoW Platinum in the film.
Yeah.
Wow.
Platinum.
Wait, in the film or in the
Yes. But as for this episode, I've been so surprised at just how mature the show has gotten. I mean, you're taking a kid show which tried to kidify kind of the comics, and not in a bad way. I mean, the comics are still for kids The comics are still for kids in the first place, but you're also taking Claremont's, some would say, purple prose, and paring it down for kids to be able to maybe not be, bored with people just expositing the entire time dialogue. I think they've done a really good job of kind of taking this X-Men show and aging it up with its audience, kind of. And I get kind of, I don't know. I see people all the time talk about, well, this has got to age up with its audience, and sometimes I don't agree with that. Sometimes I think some things should stay more for the kids of the world. But in this case, I think they've done a really good job kind of bridging that gap to the point of this episode almost having that last scene of the episode. I was like, yeah, I don't know that I might cover my kid's eyes if I had a kid that was, like 8 or 9 watching this.
Yeah, I mean, and what they've done is they've made the show for the age of the Gen Xers that were watching the show in the 90s.
Oh yeah.
So they just aged it up because they knew that this particular animation style for a lot of kids is probably not something they're going to be interested in anyways. So they really just are like, we're doing X-Men 97 for the Gen Xers and maybe a little bit younger that will want to watch this.
I like this animation style.
Oh, I love it. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I mean, for guys, our age, I mean, it's cool. It's awesome. I mean,
it's really refreshing in the world of 3D, animation all over the place, and some of it's great. But I know this is digital still.
Sure.
But the 2D digital animation looks really, really good.
Yeah. So, Dr. Earl, how many times did you watch the episode? You said twice.
Yeah, I just watched it again this afternoon.
What did you think as you were finishing watching the episode?
It's so good. I mean, we really don't deserve this show to be this good, honestly.
No, I'm very surprised. Like
I didn't think we were going to get this level. I was like, well, let's step into it. Now, I'm still a Claremont guy. I would probably slow drip this a little bit more, but because Bo DeMayo seems to just make big swings, like every episode,
he's
moving things quickly. Whereas I would probably want more of the sort of more prosaic, a little bit more introspective, but they have some of that. I mean, we had this conversation with Magneto and Professor X and discussing, what he's doing with bringing this asteroid or whatever it is down,
Asteroid M
over the Earth, and that he's going to mess up the magnetic poles. No, I really like this a lot. I mean, this has probably been one of my favorite Marvel properties in a while, to be truthful.
Yeah.
And just that shocking ending, and we'll get into that, but goodness, I was like, oh. And then Wolverine, I felt like finally was just, I love that he's got some beef with Magneto. Like he is totally, like everybody else is like, Magneto's like, let's cut the blabber, bub. And he's ready.
Yeah, he's ready.
Or whatever he said, let's skip the blabber.
I will say that I'm glad that
6 reasons
the live action Wolverine doesn't talk the same way as the animated Wolverine. I don't know if that would work,
but I'm glad the animated Wolverine talks the way he does.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. I don't know if
he's
it would
closer
translate
to the comic.
Yeah.
I've never been like a huge Jackman. I mean, huge Jackman. You should
I see what you did there.
I've never really.
Oh, dude, he just owns that role though for me now at this point. It's going to be so hard for me to see somebody else in that role when it happens, because it will happen unless it's Taron Egerton. If it's Taron Egerton, I'm all in on that. If they actually do that.
Well, I told you who I wanted. I want the small Hemsworth to play him. The short Hemsworth.
The old guy?
Like,
he's not that, Wolverine's
Luke
old.
Hemsworth?
Luke Hemsworth, yeah. He would be good. He's
the
small,
guy that was in
compact.
Westworld.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Chops on him.
He's
anyway,
too old though. Well, they're gonna.
And I don't know how grumpy he is.
He could be. Grumpy.
He's grumpy.
I guess.
Anyway, that's my take. I'm loving it.
You know that they're gonna go younger with the characters, though. They're not. I don't think.
Well, Wolverine never was young. He was like
he wasn't. But
years old.
By the time they actually get to X-Men, Taron Egerton might be of age anyways. Like he'll be in his late 30s, early 40s by the time they get to it.
I mean, Egerton would be good. I think
he's just stout. He's
I think I'm being serious here. I think when they eventually get to the X-Men casting, and I would not be surprised if Egerton is a quick cameo in Deadpool and Wolverine. By the way, because you remember Krasinski.
Wait, hang on.
God, no.
Here we go.
But I'm saying, you remember Krasinski in Multiverse of Madness? This is the perfect film to throw in fan cast like that. Like
you're right.
For Multiverse of Madness.
Totally. Yeah, I agree.
But I think when they ultimately cast the role, they're going to go for somebody unknown. that really fits the role as close as they can.
I think Kevin Hart would be good. He's
no. I was thinking Kevin Hart for Professor X. Kevin Hart for Professor.
Oh, there you
X,
go.
The bald
there you
head
go.
and
yeah, he could do that. Hey,
all right, Roth, what did you think? I mean, I think Roth and I are kind of in the same boat. Roth maybe less than me as far as I've never read any X-Men comics really. I don't know these characters that well, but what did you think? But you're like totally blind when it comes to X-Men.
Yeah, like the movies and like even they're like rewatching the 3 that I've watched, like I'm like I kind of remember some of this, but like especially The Last Stand, I was like I don't remember any of this. So I'm pretty blind on it. But yeah, I'm really enjoying. I like this episode was very good. Like I thought the twist ending, like shock ending, was going to be just that Wolverine stabbed Magneto.
I know.
No.
Yeah.
They're not messing around. That's
no,
awesome.
They're not. They're serious on this thing. Golly.
And there was the thing like you alluded to, Earl, that Bo DeMaio and his team like pack so much stuff into each of these episodes. There's even like foreshadowing within the episode for something that happens later in the episode, like that one scene where Scott and Jean like touch hands,
about to
like
go on different planes,
and go on different planes. And little did we know at that time that would be the last time, at least we think, that they ever do that. We don't know if Jean's dead or not. I mean,
Cable's wearing her out there at the end.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of like.
I mean, she's not dead, but it's just.
Well,
I don't know.
Do we know that?
I don't think she personally died. But...
No, she probably didn't. But Cable was sure wearing the crap out of her.
Yeah, I don't think she'll be in good shape.
No, I don't think so. I mean, the way that they make you think that maybe she's not going to make it is that she telepathically talks with Scott and says, "I love you,"
basically.
Like it's almost like a goodbye type situation.
That's
and I know we're jumping towards the end of the episode there.
No, it's all right. It's all right.
I mean, some of the interesting
about Wolverine.
Yeah, I mean, some of the interesting stuff.
We're going backwards.
The beginning of the episode, though, like I think the relationship. I mean, Xavier's burned some bridges with his team, especially Scott, because obviously with him in his will or whatever saying that he wanted Magneto to take over the mansion. I mean, Scott's like sort of butthurt about all of that. And he's letting him know.
But Scott's a good butthurt in this. He's not butthurt like he is in the movies.
It's righteous. Exactly.
He's not a whiny baby.
Yeah, he's not a whiny baby at all. Yeah.
Scott always, I mean, and this is clearly conveyed through the show, but he's always trusted Professor X's judgment. He's fully behind the professor 100%. And then he makes a move to make Magneto the leader. And at this point, it's pretty clear that while he tried, that was a mistake. Magneto was just ultimately not going to work in that position because when humans did attack, he was just going to want to genocide the humans. Instead of, trying to make things better, he ultimately wants to just make it worse the opposite way.
Yeah.
And Scott thinks that he could have led the team much better. And I'm sure that they're going to have conversations about that in the future. But Scott is still a leader, and he still goes out there and leads his team, even while agreeing with what Charles did.
Yeah, and he even like when Wolverine is saying something, he's even like, "Look, this is enough time." Or no, it was Rogue or Net. I'm sorry,
I think it was Jubilee. It was Sunspot and Jubilee, and he goes,
"Sunspot said something about the mansion," and yeah, exactly.
Whereas you reflect back to The Last Stand, and specifically, I mean, he's so broken up about Jean that it's totally wrecked his character, and he has to go to the lake and get killed.
Right, exactly.
And look,
they just wanted him out of the way so that Wolverine could be the hero. And
but I really hope that, and
it upsets me, but
I hope that they can balance that relationship better in future movies if we get that. But
they need to. They almost need to do the complete opposite of what the original.
Well, they don't need to trash Wolverine because he makes you a lot of money.
Well, not. I'm sorry. I mean, just like make them have not such a weird type of relationship that they had. I mean, because it seems like Wolverine respects Scott as portrayed in X-Men 97.
Yeah,
I mean, he respects his leadership position.
He does.
They butt heads, and they are in a love triangle together, but they ultimately respect each other. Yeah.
Right, exactly. We learn a lot of background about Bastion just through exposition that Professor X spits out to us. You know, that he had a chance.
I thought he was a mutant.
Yeah, he had a chance to maybe get him to the manor, and it didn't really happen. And obviously, Bastion has gone pure evil at this point. Although,
he's
beginning of the episode, we see him crying over his mother, so he's still got a heart, which I found that interesting because he's the one that turned them all into Sentinels, including his mother. So why is he crying over a creation that he made? He turned his own mom into a Sentinel. I mean, I don't know. That scene was kind of weird to me. I mean, I guess he was just upset because...
Well, he kind of took a back seat in this episode. I felt like more than I was expecting. Bastion.
Yeah. Well,
just because Magneto came on so strong, you know, and he pretty much thwarted his plan, right? Didn't he?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think Bastion was still, you know, he was kind of controlling all the Sentinels. I mean,
well, that's true. He unleashed those other Sentinels.
Yeah, right? he unleashed all the old style Sentinels. So
I think they took down Forge and Storm.
Yeah, he was basically the central command server. You know, because he's a technopath. That was a word they threw out a couple times. Because he can talk to machines.
Whereas Mr. Sinister was on the front lines battling.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, he wanted to battle though. He wanted to fight with Jean, basically.
Yeah, he wanted to mess with her head.
Yeah.
And did big time. I mean, by controlling Cable too. I mean, that scene was so brutal.
He's like, I've got psychic powers too, mother.
Yeah, exactly.
The generation or some whatever he said.
Tends not to skip a generation.
That's right. Yeah.
I like that guy who's voicing Cable. He's good. I mean,
Chris Potter.
Yeah, there's a lot of great voice work in this. I think a couple of the characters, obviously, they wanted to keep Rogue's voice. I think she sounds a little old. I think she sounds a little old, but that's just
I don't care for Storm's voice.
That's pretty much how Storm was in the original.
Yeah.
She's a little. No, I understand it. Well, she definitely sounds old.
They want her to sound regal, like a
she's supposed
queen,
to be
basically.
Well, she was considered a god in her country before she was, because of her powers or something, and so she's always had sort of a queen regalness about her, sort of something like that.
I was kind of surprised.
I much prefer the Halle Berry.
Yeah, me too. No, I'm with you. I was kind of surprised when the asteroid M came down, you know, right next to the manor or whatever, that only Rogue and Sunspot left. I thought maybe someone else would go. I mean, but Magneto only convinced 2 people to come with him.
Well, and it was a smaller group of mutants there already.
Well, no, all the teams together now, though.
Well,
I mean, we basically
it's
not huge, but I mean, it's pretty much all of them, though.
I thought it made sense, the 2 that went, and I don't know that many other people going would have made a lot of sense based on what we've.
Yeah, I thought maybe Jubilee would have gone with Sunspot. It was the only thing I thought maybe would have happened, but
I like their little.
That's good conflict there.
That is good. It creates good conflict. You're right. I mean,
he's like, "Oh, did I hurt you?" And she's like,
she's also so in debt to the X-Men in terms of just like.
From before.
The beginning of the show.
The
beginning of the original show.
Yeah, because
this is definitely a very different, at least for me, like not being a comic book reader, this is a very different characterization of Rogue than the films. Like she seems like really disgruntled more than she was in the film.
Oh, she's a lot different.
I was reading something that was actually kind of interesting the other day, and I forgot about this. I don't read X-Men comics that much, but I did know this. You know, Rogue's powers in this show are taken from Miss Marvel at the time, or Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel, as you'd call her now.
Oh.
She took Captain Marvel's powers in a fight in like an annual
Okay.
And
she absorbs
in the movies,
powers from people.
Yeah. And so she had those powers for a long time in the comics. That's why she can fly in this show. But in the movies, they didn't have the rights to Carol Danvers / Captain Marvel / Miss Marvel, whatever you want to
right.
call her.
All the all the Marvels. Yeah.
They didn't have the rights to it, so she couldn't have those powers, and so her story arc kind of stagnated in the films.
Yeah.
In terms of where they could take the character, because they didn't really have much in the comics past that point. Because it kind of continues on with her having those powers.
It's like, just keep your gloves on. Thanks. You can just stay back at the
bench. Yeah, and then she takes the cure, which a lot of people would say is kind of out of character, based on her comic counterpart versus her movie counterpart. I would understand it personally, but it's a little out of character.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, no, I'm not saying that her characterization in the animated series isn't earned. I mean, she's been through a lot, even through this season. So yeah, I mean, I get why she's acting the way she is, but it's just so different than, how she. How she was portrayed or whatever. But
I feel like that Rogue character in the original X-Men movie was more like, hey, she's your character to discover the X-Men. Like she's the audience member who is your gateway to, oh wow, I'm so shocked with all these people displaying their powers around me or whatever.
She kind of took the place of Kitty Pryde, is my understanding.
That's true, because that's how Kitty was too.
Yeah,
welcome, Kitty.
Until
Kitty showed up in the third episode.
Yep.
I do very much appreciate the way that they are using Morph and have him just randomly, and he became Hulk. I thought that was.
Didn't he say Morph Smash or something?
Morph Smash, yeah. I mean,
or something. He said something.
He said Morph Smash, yeah.
That's a character that, in all honesty, feels kind of shoehorned into the show.
Yes,
but they are using his powers in a cool way throughout the series.
Yes.
So there's at least good payoff there.
Yeah. I really like the Mr. Sinister, fake out he did to Bastion.
When he tried to fake out Bastion, and Bastion didn't fall for it or whatever. Sinister would never sacrifice himself for anyone.
Yeah.
And he had a different outfit on. Like when we shot him, he had a different. He didn't have like the classic blue and yellow. He had some other kind of purple and something. I don't know. I didn't understand that, but
it was interesting. I mean, based upon everything that happened, I mean, like where do we even go from here now? I mean, we've got Wolverine on the sideline. Basically, he's going to be incapacitated.
He's still got his bones. He's got his bone.
Well, yeah, but I think he's probably going to be pretty injured.
He's going to be in the hospital. Yeah.
He's going to be hurt pretty badly.
He will recover. He'll just not have his medal. He'll have his.
Well, yeah, exactly. Exactly. But then we've also got Magneto, who seems probably pretty wounded. He took a claw through the side. So you would think without him having ability to, regenerate like Wolverine does, he's probably going to be pretty injured.
Hey, Bob.
We've got Storm and Forge. Forge is
down.
Forge is shot down. Storm's in the ocean. We've got Cable taking out Jean. I mean,
all those, and Magneto had everybody else held, right? Like he had the helmet on Charles.
So Charles was getting,
and he's like, "No, Magneto, don't do it." Man, that scene. I was
after Scott stopped.
Yeah, what was Scott doing? What the heck, Scott?
I don't really understand that move at all. He's like, they need more time.
They need more time to stop Bastion, basically. So I mean,
because I think the thing is that the two-pronged approach is the people stopping Bastion need to stop him before Magneto reverses his thing, because all the Sentinels would come back online if Bastion.
Yeah, that was another plot point that they mentioned at the beginning of the episode, that they had 12 hours, basically. They have 12 hours to fix this whole thing, or the world, quote unquote, the world will end.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't know that, but I mean, that's what they think is going to happen.
Because there's something with the magnetic poles that Magneto did when he did his big EMP blast thing.
Yep, exactly right.
Now, why could Charles not control Magneto and prevent the Sentinels from coming back online? And and not have to make it so that they have to finish at the same time.
Don't ask questions like that, Garrison.
Garrison.
Well,
Charles just showed
there's
up.
probably a good reason for it, because I don't think that the writing team that's involved in this would mess anything like that up.
I don't think
so there's
got to
be a good reason for it.
It just kind of caught me like they didn't really explain, and that's fine. But I was just kind of like, okay.
Yeah.
Seems like a bad move by Scott, but we'll see.
It does. It was a weird move for sure. I mean, I didn't quite get it in the moment. Even watching
now Wolverine.
it.
So you're saying if they had stopped
skeleton pulled out.
Yeah.
So you're saying if they had stopped Magneto, that Bastion. Oh, I see. He would have put his other.
He would have been able to use his Sentinel,
right?
Human
he would have been able to turn them back on, basically, if the magnetic stuff, the EMP.
Because like the whole thing they want Magneto to do is reverse his EMP.
Right.
Yeah.
But so in order to reverse the EMP without the other Sentinels being reactivated, you basically have to. They had to call. They're trying to get that collar on Bastion.
Yeah, I guess the problem would be that Charles probably can't keep the connection to Magneto that long. He's probably a very strong-willed, strong mind. So, yeah, I get it.
So, and I've seen some stuff online where people are like, "Well, I really kind of understand Magneto. I'm kind of more in his camp," and I'm thinking, I'm not. I'm all.
Yeah, I know.
You know, they're all like, "Oh, Charles was so mean to him," and
right.
Charles. I mean, he makes a lot of sense. He's been through a lot of trauma with the whole Genosha thing. I'm like, nope, he's a villain. No, I'm not. I don't have any qualms about stopping this guy. There were some people saying, "Oh, this is just like our current political state. That sometimes you've got to do." I'm like, no. I'm
well, there, yeah.
Let's stop Magneto now. That's my
stop him now.
Yeah,
at least give him a haircut. I mean, I'm just so tired of the long hair.
It's really easy. It's really easy, Eric.
Eric Langsha. We are the future now, Charles, not them.
Nightcrawler seemed a bit sidelined in this episode. He didn't do much. I mean, he
teleported them to the island.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's and then
he took care of some metal shards. He was bamfing around catching at one point, but
the bamfing. That's awesome. Yeah,
what he does, and he kind of counseled Rogue a little bit somewhere. When
he did at the beginning when she woke up, but that didn't do much.
Are you okay? And that's why he was so shocked. He said, "No, Rogue, don't leave."
Yeah, he was very shocked, but he had right to be. I mean, I think obviously she's going to have an awakening in this third episode that she has made a mistake in following Magneto. And I think Sunspot will as well. And
maybe she'll take Magneto's powers.
That she needs to. I don't understand why she didn't think about that in the first place, because then, but the problem still being is they haven't collared Bastion. Bastion is still able to, as soon as that EMP gets reversed on the planet, then he can turn all those other people back on. So they've got to collar him first, and they are having no luck in that area.
He's got the collar now.
He didn't crush it, I think, or
maybe
he took it at least.
He grabbed it.
Beast tried to get it to him, and he just caught him, and
not a good place to be. So our heroes. This is the Empire Strikes Back episode. Our heroes are in peril. We're gonna have to have.
I mean, can't Nightcrawler just like teleport in, put it on Bastion or wherever this thing is?
You would think. I think he was on the wrong team wherever he was. They needed to have him on that team trying to collar Bastion. They needed to have him doing that.
Whose plan was this?
Yeah, this was not well thought out at all.
I think in the comics he had to see. So there was a thing with Nightcrawler where he had to be able to visualize where he was going.
Yeah,
that's how he is an X2 as well.
Yeah, you have to.
Well, that was the whole thing.
So when they said he was going to teleport him to Muir Island, I was kind of like, I think that's. I don't know if that.
I don't.
I'm not sure that's a traditional Nightcrawler. I mean, I guess he's been to Muir Island, so he could do it. But I was
that was the other thing. Like, if he remembered,
it
was like two things. Like, if he could see it or he could remember how to do it.
They were on the plane right above it, right? I mean, am I wrong about that? Or
yeah, I think they're in the mansion.
No, they were all the way back in the mansion when he's like,
"Oh, okay,
yeah, Nightcrawler will teleport us to." Yeah,
I liked the old costumes, obviously showing the Jean's old costume in that one costume room,
and I like the blue,
the
like
blue,
the old school,
the old style costumes are awesome. It just works well in this medium. I mean, having those type of old costumes like that, it just looks cool in animation. I think like even though I'm not much of an anime watcher, I think a lot of the fight scenes are anime-esque. Classic anime like Akira and Ghost in the Shell. I mean, the way that they'll pause right before a big action sequence or something, they'll do like a slow-mo thing and go into a really quick action sequence. That's
and definitely that last shot where he's just like frozen and
right, yeah,
you're just seeing him like with all the metal flowing out from him, which is based on a comic book panel. There's a time that I saw the actual panel of it, like where Magneto's like stripping him of his metal.
If this is a very much like a Star Wars-esque thing, like a Star Wars, like you had A New Hope, Empire, where everything's in peril, then you got Return of the Jedi. It should get resolved this season, at least with Bastion, but we'll see. I mean, because they're promising season 2 will come quicker than we think. Because they're pretty much done with it, I think, as far as I understand.
Wow.
I think they've recorded all the lines or most of the lines, but I don't know that the animation's fully done.
Right.
But they've been working on it.
But you're saying it's not going to be like 3 years. It'll be
no, it'll be quick. It'll be next year, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll put it out this year.
It's not going to be Invincible season 2.
No. Yeah, it will not be Invincible season 2. I think it'll be and I think 10 episodes is good. I think they'll do 10 episodes next year. That's going to be an animation heavy year for Marvel, though. If they
could turn it around by the holidays. That's what 6-7 months from now.
Now, did they say that this show is going to tie in with Freshman Spider-Man year or whatever they're calling that? No tie-in.
Spider-Man. It was Spider-Man freshman year. Now it's Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man.
Yeah, Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man.
No, that's a What If spinoff. Is my understanding. That's kind of the way they pitched it. That's the way they pitched it at the San Diego Comic-Con animation panel in 2022, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is this Punk Spider-Man?
What now?
Is this the Punk Spider-Man that we're getting?
No, it's just no.
It's just a What If kind of Spider-Man. It's based on the MCU Spider-Man, but it's very different.
And then the zombies. They're supposed to have the zombies show. That's another
What If spinoff. For
I don't care. I don't even know if I'll watch that.
Come on, Earl. We watch everything.
I'm not a zombie guy. You're
not a zombie guy?
Nah.
So, anyways, well, what do we think? Like before we wrap it up, how do we
where it's going?
Yeah, how do we think it's going to resolve in this season? I think the Bastion storyline's done.
Yeah.
I think they need to have.
You mean by the end of next episode, right?
By the end of next episode, yeah. I think maybe Sinister is still around, but I think Bastion. I think that will be resolved.
I think Sinister will get away somehow.
Yeah,
maybe.
Even though they're kind of making him like a second fiddle to Bastion, I honestly think like Sinister is probably more powerful in a different way than Bastion is.
Well,
Bastion
just sinister.
He's just a sinister guy. Yeah.
He's very focused on Jean Grey and just messing with her head. This whole Madeline Pryor Jean Grey thing is very intriguing. Yeah, sorry, go ahead, Garrison. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, he clearly is powerful, and if he's able to clone a person that well, and
and mind control a person that well.
Yeah. And I wouldn't be surprised if he's kind of being set up as like an overarching villain for a couple of seasons. But
I think so too.
I really don't. I don't know. This show's kind of thrown me for a loop at times. I don't know that I can say. I mean, obviously the heroes will win.
Sure.
I don't think they're going to have a shocking, scary ending here, but
I don't know about that.
I don't think so. I think if the metal gets stripped from Wolverine, a lot of people have been talking about the bone claws coming in, which will be kind of cool in animation.
Yeah, that'll be cool.
I'd like to see that. I don't know. I really am at a loss for where this is going to go.
Yeah, it is very. You just don't know. There's so many twists.
I think that I think maybe Marvel Animation or whomever is kind of surprised this show is doing so well, and so they're gonna probably. Man, they could go so many ways with this.
They'll mess it up, of course.
No, but I'm saying that, like, what if we did like 3 seasons in a movie? I mean, they could like really.
If it gains momentum,
we talk about doing so well, but I do want to preface that yes, this is the number 3 show on Disney Plus this year.
Yeah,
out of anything that's streamed in 2024, which is good. But if you actually look at the Nielsen ratings,
I didn't. No, we didn't.
Cracked.
We missed that, Plex. That's a good one. I totally missed that.
No, I saw that too. Yeah,
yeah. She's in a bad place. We definitely talked about how she's in a bad place, but we didn't catch the coat. That's a good pickup.
Yeah.
Sorry, Garrison. What were you saying?
This has not cracked the Nielsen ratings on the streaming charts since it's been going. Which to me, if you're going to make a movie, it needs the show needs to be up there in those kinds of charts. And the Mando is.
Mando's the only one, right? I mean,
honest to goodness, people just do not watch Disney Plus like they watch Netflix or some of the other bigger streamers.
Which is so hard.
Most of their stuff sucks.
Well,
it's not really that it sucks. It's more just people have gotten so the Netflix brand is a brand.
It is a big brand now.
Watch,
whatever crap they've got on there.
Well, Disney never built up that kind of thing, and Netflix has had like a decade to do it. And that reflects in the streaming charts. Seriously,
which is so strange because you never would have thought that like Netflix in any way would have a more, I don't know if I would say better brand than Disney, but just a more like buzzworthy brand.
More of the market share.
Yeah. I mean, it's weird. I mean, because I know a lot of people, I know a ton of people watch Bridgerton. I know a ton of people watch all those like reality shows that are on Netflix, but they're just so out of my wheelhouse that
it's aimed to the soccer mom.
Yeah, the problem though is that Disney has at least made shows that you're like, well, and that's true for Netflix too, but Disney has made shows where you're like, oh man, I want to go back and rewatch that. Most of the Netflix content I watch that gets popular has been pretty garbage for me.
I just haven't watched. I cannot. I mean, Stranger Things is really the only thing.
Yeah, that is their babe. Like, and Wednesday.
Now I know Avatar and One Piece have done well for them. I think
Wednesday is
Wednesday's solid.
Well, I guess Wednesday. I need to watch that.
Of
but, I really liked Wednesday.
I need to watch that, but I just haven't gotten around to it because I like Tim Burton stuff. So Roth, any thoughts on where it could maybe end up? Like I think really. I think Bastion's done for.
I do too. I think we get a wrap. I think we get a pretty happy-ish ending.
Yeah. Now, see, I don't know about a happy-ish ending, but I think Bastion is at least beaten or whatever. I mean,
the Earth's not going to end in the 12
I think the Earth will go back to normal.
Magneto's going to go away. He's going to escape, I guess is a better way to say it.
Yeah, he'll escape.
And maybe that senator lady will help him. I don't know. She's kind of been
sinister lady?
Senator lady, the blonde-haired lady who let him go.
I thought you said sinister as well.
Wasn't she a senator or was she
UN delegate?
UN delegate. Okay.
Delegate, or something like that. She wasn't a senator, but
okay. Sorry.
Yeah, no, she's definitely on Team Magneto.
Sinister will get away too, of course, but
I think he gets away. I think Bastion's maybe the only like storyline that gets kind of wrapped up. Tied in a bow, and we move on to more Sinister and Magneto and stuff.
I bet, I could be wrong, but I bet Bastion doesn't die. Because if
they'll find
he just doesn't seem like a huge character to me. Maybe he is like for comics fans.
They're going to bring him back, but kind of in the comics,
nobody ever dies.
Sometimes sometimes they'll kill people, but it'll be left more ambiguous, or I mean.
I think
they'll put him in a techno prison or something.
Exactly. I think Magneto's probably going to be pretty ticked at Charles for like mind killing him, basically, just like trying to destroy his mind. That probably won't go over well. Mind flaying him, is that what you said?
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
Well, it's a Star
that was
Wars
awesome, man. I
all
was like,
kinds
wow.
of Stranger Things. There's all kinds of references there with the flaying.
And that's not very Charles-like to do that, but I guess Charles was like, "This, you've given me no choice at this point."
Yeah, I watched a couple of reaction shows where they were talking about how that was un-Charles-like, and I'm like, well, in the moment, you got to do what you got to do. I mean,
yeah, because he had just like slammed. He was basically destroying their team, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He was.
Well,
yeah.
Wolverine did his job because he had just gotten the helmet off.
Right.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Let's cut the blabber.
Yeah.
Or what? Skip the blabber. Or whatever he said.
All right. Well, we've gone almost an hour on a 30-minute show.
Claxton just got here. He needs.
But it's a good. Well, it's not my fault. He's late. I can't help.
Man.
You can watch it back. It's all good. It's all good.
It's always out there for the masses.
Yeah, for the masses. I mean, look, we'll be back next week to talk about the finale, which airs today or tomorrow, depending on who you're talking to. But Garrison, where can people find you on the interwebs?
You can find me on Twitter at GRyfun3, GRYFUN3. Instagram as well. You can find me on Letterboxd at GRyfun, where I am doing a Fox rewatch of all the Fox Marvel films, which has been an interesting journey. At this point, I'll be on Days of Future Past soon, which is good because that's probably my favorite X-Men film, but I've never seen the Rogue cut, and I'm interested to see
it's good.
What that's like.
I like it better, actually.
I don't know if I will. I'm generally a
theatrical.
Tighter is better.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair.
I'm not always. I mean, there are definitely theatrical cuts that are worse. Don't get me wrong.
Daredevil, Justice League.
Once Upon a Time in America, the theatrical cut for that literally doesn't exist on disc. It's that bad.
Yeah.
You have to find a VHS tape if you want that. I found it on archive.org and watched it that way.
The movie Once Upon a Time in America?
Yeah.
Like
the theatrical cut. I prefer, like, for me, I prefer the E.T. walkie-talkie cut.
Oh, yeah. Totally.
That's like, and that's hard to find. It's on DVD only.
Yeah, I've told my dad.
I want the guns where they're threatening young kids. That's what I told
my dad that he's got to hold on to that DVD because there's no way it's going to be remastered.
Never again.
On any disc again.
You've got to keep that DVD. If you've got that DVD, you've got to keep it for sure. Well, right on, Dr. Earl off the grid, except on the Deucecast. This is our opportunity to talk about the Deucecast. That's our Discord server. If you're watching this and you're kind of interested in the show, we have this Tuesday night show that we do more like TV shows. Every once in a while, we'll do a movie roundtable because we're definitely going to do one, I think, for Furiosa because I think everybody's going to try and see Furiosa. So I think that'll be a good one to roundtable. And then we're going to do, of course, Deadpool and Wolverine. We'll definitely do a roundtable for that because we'll have a little bit of a break. I mean, June we'll have Acolyte. I'm either super excited about Acolyte or dreading Acolyte.
Yeah,
I waffle back and forth. I can't figure it out. I don't know how I'm going to be going into that show. But anyways, back to the Discord. If you're interested, you can always email us at thedeucecast@gmail.com if you're interested in that, or find us on social media, DM, and I can send you a link if you're a real person. But we also have Roth, who hosts an awesome movie podcast, Good Day for a Movie.
Yes.
What is coming up for you, sir?
Yes, our latest episode that released yesterday was Dogtooth. Nobody should watch the movie. You can go listen to the episode, but don't watch the movie. Bad movie.
Hot mess.
Not necessarily in quality, but in content.
Right.
Next up, we had Kale on, and we are talking about The Fall Guy. We went and saw The Fall Guy. So that was a fun episode. Fun movie. Super fun movie.
I just have to say that your friend group, you've got Tate, Sage, and Kale. You've got like and then you've got normal red-blooded American named Jacob, and then Tate, and Kale. So
Colorado kids. What are you going to do with it?
Yeah, exactly. All these Colorado kids. I love the movie though. That should be cool to hear you guys talk about that.
And then spoiler alert, sneak peek, whatever you want to call it. Tonight I will be watching The Great Escape for our next episode.
With Steve McQueen.
McQueen, yeah.
That's bought it on 4K a long time ago, and
finally
sit down and watch it tonight.
Don't say it, Garrison.
Fun fact. That's the Kino Lorber 4K, which they took the colors from the Criterion disc that had been produced using Quentin Tarantino's film print of The Great Escape. Right. Previously on Blu-ray, it was produced by whoever had the rights. I don't remember now. 20th Century, whoever it was.
Yeah, studio. Yeah.
The colors were not correct. And you could actually look on the Laserdisc version. Those colors are pretty close to what the film print is. But Criterion went out of their way to do that and like get the colors correct. And then they weren't even given a chance to get the 4K rights. And Kino is just able to use those colors. So anyway, you are watching the correct colors.
You are watching the correct.
Good deal. Yeah. Good deal.
Because I know you care about that.
Yes, very much so.
No, I would, but I know.
No, yeah, I mean, yeah, I like if it was like
if you knew that going in, exactly.
It looked blue, like Technicolor color or something.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's kind of yellowish blue, something like that.
I need to pick up that 4K. That's one that I haven't picked up yet, and I definitely need to get
The Great Escape.
Before it goes, well, Kino stuff usually does not go out of print, actually. So
sometimes it does, man.
Really?
I forgot about there was a Woody Allen movie I wanted to buy from them. And
well, now some of their
I went in
some of their Blu-rays will, but their 4Ks have not yet. Okay. Yeah, their 4Ks.
Well,
they
so is Kino giving Criterion a run for their money, like grabbing some of their?
Kino,
explain this. I'm confused.
So
in a lot of ways,
Kino got the rights to every MGM film on 4K, which is crazy because every label, Arrow and Criterion. And several others that had the Blu-ray rights to these films all came out and kind of quietly said, we were never offered those rights. Like, that didn't go up for bid. You just gave that to Kino.
Yeah, it was a weird situation.
So they were kind of ticked off by that.
Yeah, sure.
Like, Criterion for the longest time had Silence of the Lambs. Well,
they still do.
And they still do Blu-ray, but then, like, Kino has the 4K. It's like, it's wild. And same for The Apartment, and there's several others.
Half of them are based on Criterion done or Criterion edited, transfers of the films where they've gone in and had a hand in it. Mm-hmm. And it's funny, the Kino just puts it straight on a disc.
We're just gonna steal this.
It's crazy.
It was fair game, I guess, but just.
Well, we have
guys.
We've got a fun episode of the Deucecast coming out tomorrow. It's basically like our top 5 theatrical experiences.
Best
and that can be interpreted in any way. So there's our friend Bubba comes on who he's got
a good story.
He's got some really great stories, and he's actually is in the independent business as far as film editing. He's got an IMDb profile under Charles Willis. If you look him up, he's edited a couple of independent films. So he's trying to get back into that business here in Birmingham. He's originally from Texas, and they moved here a couple years ago. So he's trying to get his foot in the door in Birmingham and get back into that. So, and he's a buddy of ours. So we had him on, and it was fun. We had a really great conversation about just different theatrical experiences that we had. So that
Force Awakens would be on there for me.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely a lot of Star Wars conversation that happens for sure.
I imagine there was some Marvel too.
Yeah, there was definitely a lot. There was the story that we always tell is on there about how we got our in-game seats. So that.
You went to Curse of La Llorona.
Yes.
Wait, no spoilers.
Spoiler alert.
That's Patreon. Patreon content, guys. Come on.
Patreon. We're never going to do Patreon. That's only for people with success. No.
Well, I
remember when you guys did that on that night. I was like, wow, I would not even go see that film.
It was. we retell that story because Bubba had never heard it. So
yeah.
And I know people that listen to the show have heard it, but it still was fun to talk about again. But man, next week I am super excited to be back next Tuesday to talk about the finale of X-Men '97. I'm hoping it's like an end credit scene that sets up season 2. That's what I need them to do that. That would be awesome. But
or just a link to his Bo whatever's only.
We don't want to know anything about Earl. We don't want to know anything about Bo DeMayo.
Bo DeMayo, that's his name.
Hey, I don't think he's got some nice muscles. I'll say that.
Wow.
Wow. That's probably why he's
challengers. Garrison. Up there talking about Bo's muscles. Oh my goodness.
He puts them on display so much. I mean, good Lord.
Well, this is true. He does. You're right about that. But yeah, this is YouTube. I guess I'm supposed to say, like, subscribe to the channel, like it,
Mash
comment,
the bell,
leave a comment,
leave a comment.
Go see the Monkeys movie.
I guess, go see a Monkeys. I guess I'm supposed to. Here's what a lot of YouTubers do in the comments section. How about you tell us about your favorite X-Men movie in the comment section, and then we'll read your comment next week.
If it's X-Men Apocalypse, just don't put the comment down.
If it's X-Men Apocalypse, please don't put the comment. I'd be very surprised if it was, but appreciate everybody that hung out in the chat. We had Andrew for a little while. We had Claxton hanging out. This guy named Earl was in there for a while. So really fun.
Hey, guys, help us to get to 100,000 likes. Come on.
Yeah. 100,000. Right.
If we get 100,000 likes, if we get 100,000 likes, Earl will donate $100,000 to charity.
Whoa!
If we get 100,000 likes, if we get 100,000 likes on this video, I will fully shave my head.
Oh, nice. He'll go full.
Like, I'll pick it.
That's awesome. I'm excited for that.
I will fund Burgess's next movie. How about that?
Wow, dude, careful. Slow down with that. If Burgess got
not 100,000,
he would find a way to make 100,000 likes happen. So you got to be careful with those kind of things, man. I think we better get out of here before Earl makes any more promises.
If we get 100,000, no, I'm just kidding.
No, we're out.